Welcome back to the Wanna Be Mindful podcast, episode 3. I'm here today with my co-host, world-class philosopher in training, Jarrod Beato.
What's up, y'all? How's it going? Hopefully good. Hopefully mindful.
That's damn right. All right. Well, today we're going to talk about the misconceptions of goal setting and try to open up people's views about it and really just take a different look at what goal setting really is when we break it down Barnes style. So,
Kind of clear things up, understand it in a different light possibly, and not make it so, do this and you'll be happy.
so
Do this
mundane.
and your life will change.
Yes.
Kind of breaks it down a little bit, and you'll learn about it from your host here. Want to Be Mindful podcast.
You're damn right.
Yes, sir.
Now, quick shout out to Daddy Longneck. I mean, this human being has a freakishly long neck. You know who I'm talking about, Jarrod?
Of course I do. He's a coworker, a friend. I wouldn't really say mentor, but he's a guy that has an insanely long neck.
Right. I would compare it to Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda. That's what I think about.
Master Oogway?
That's right.
I would compare it to if you're in the jungle and then you're trying to reach a certain point. It's the tallest tree in the jungle. Like tall as shit, basically. Okay. And it's the tallest tree in the jungle. It's long.
That's a good example.
You think so?
Yeah. I think that was pretty good.
Giraffe,
turtle. Just okay. So shout out to him, Daddy Longneck.
Yes, sir. It's a little chilly in here. Did you say?
You're a little cold right now.
I'm not a little cold, but I got the goosies a little bit. My nipples are kind of like stone right now.
Jesus, that's frightening.
It's frightening? Why?
I don't know. It scares me.
Why?
I'm frightened
of my nipples.
Yes.
Well, that's it. I guess that is something to be scared of. I mean,
I like to keep.
Can you see them?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Anyway,
I mean, on that topic, have you ever had a nipple off?
What? No.
I feel like I've asked you that before.
Yeah.
You've never had a nipple off?
No, I can confidently say I've never done a nipple off.
It doesn't seem like you're interested in knowing what a nipple off is.
I kind of think I know what it is. You show your nipples off and compare them to another alpha male.
No. Okay, so basically, I did this when I was intoxicated, under the influence of alcohol.
How could you?
Yes, I know. Sometimes you gotta let loose, have a little fun. But basically, you have your opponent, your foe, and you're lined up against each other, and you put both your arms in front of you, and you twist each other's nipples until one gives up. So it's kind of like bloody knuckles, but
right.
Like twisting of the nipples.
I'm realizing why I've never played this game.
Yeah.
Okay. Realizing
it's incredibly painful.
Okay.
Wake up the next morning, your nipples are going to be feeling it. It's going to be like you're rubbing your nipples against the concrete for multiple minutes.
I would be in excruciating pain if I ever participated in such an activity. So fuck that. Part of my French. We're gonna get talking about the topic at hand here.
Maybe you could do it afterwards, but
sure.
I think I'd win.
Yes, you would. And I'll give you the win before we even fucking do it. So we're gonna start talking about the topic: misconception of goal setting. What am I talking about when I say that? So I wrote a couple notes down just to keep me on track. But basically, rather than putting pure focus on a goal, bring your attention to the structure in place that is going to give you the achievement of said goal, right? And what do I mean by this, right? Goals are basically the results that we want. And the structure is the process that guides us to that result. So you have the goal and you have the structure. Goal is the result, structure is the system and the processes that you do to get to that result. So what do you think about that?
I think that's very a very essential part of goals, because like when I first started out with goal setting and just hearing a bunch of people say that you need goals in your life and you need this, and you start putting them down, but you don't have a structure, you don't really know how to get to that goal. And like, so when I did it, I didn't really know where to go, I didn't really know how to do it. I kind of just had it down, and then went, you know, went on my own from there, and it never really turns out good. Like, I didn't accomplish much of my goals, and I think because I didn't really know how to work it, I didn't
Okay.
really understand it.
Right. Right. That's absolutely
Is
right.
why. So
So, give me an example of a goal
and
in the structure.
okay,
I
an
didn't want to have to
example.
say that.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't want to have to say that, but
Acting pushy. I can give you an example if you want.
please.
Let's see. So an example would be going to the gym. So, or not going to the gym, but losing weight.
That's a good goal. A
Yeah.
lot of people probably have that goal.
Yeah. A lot of people, a lot of advertisements are on this. There's so much crap
So,
out there with
right.
losing weight.
The goal is to lose weight.
The goal is to lose weight. Say you want to lose 30 pounds, whatever the case may be. So that's your goal. And there's many people that have failed it. There are many people that have succeeded from it. You hear the good stories, and you also hear the horrendous stories,
Right.
the stories where it does not go good, and they may even fall down deeper into the hole.
That's right.
But it can be that system. So that system that's put in place is your diet, your sleep, your workout routine.
That's right.
Your schedule, how
That's
you
right.
place your time. So a lot of people don't really think about sleep as an essential, critical part to building a healthy body and keeping your mind healthy as well. Because
As I like to say, people are sleeping on sleep. That's my quote.
yeah, I like
I'll
that.
be saying that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, so sleep essential, recovers your muscles, it gives your cells proper regeneration, and diet is critical as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that working out is not as crucial as people really think. Diet can really be the game changer when it comes to losing weight or even just gaining muscle and anything that has to do with like building nutrition for your body.
Right.
So
Okay.
doing sleep, diet, workout routines. So having that right workout routine that works for you, putting it in place so it's a system that you don't hate. It's not the same thing every time.
Right.
It's not just running every single day and you may hate running, but possibly finding a group of friends to go play basketball, finding a certain group of people that it's more of an enjoyable activity for you.
Right.
And mixing it up too. You could do one thing one day, you could swim one day, you could play basketball one day, you can always change it up. So having that process in place to where it changes up could be beneficial. And so yeah, so it was sleep, diet, and then
That's the
also
structure.
yeah, and then also the schedule that you put in place.
All
So
right.
the time that you work out
Right.
and how you put that in your day so you can actually be consistent with it.
Right.
So
So we need to realize, and now we're going to dive into like a misconception of goal setting. We
mhm.
need to realize that there's a difference between successful people that achieve their goals and the non-successful people that don't achieve their goals. And we need to realize that these people had the same goals. If we use celebrities and famous people and people that have worked hard to get their status, we tend to overlook people that had the same exact goal and they failed. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if everyone wants to lose weight or gain weight, and there are people that are successful at it and there are people that are non-successful at it, the goal cannot be what made the difference in those people's achievement of the goal of their success.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be the goal at that point. At that point, it's the systems in place that made the difference to get the result. The
Mm-hmm.
result is the goal that you had originally.
Mm-hmm.
So to
It's
wrap
that
that up,
process that they put in place.
exactly, because
Or-
we all like a good. It's really good to say that we do overlook people that have the same goals as another person, but one wins and one is a loser, and we never really look at the loser. We just think the successful ones, we think that their goals are what got them their success.
Mhm.
So that could be a
They
misconception.
see one good story and then they're like, oh, you know, it worked for them, so it works for me.
Yes,
Essentially.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And another misconception of goals I'm going to dive into is that goals are they're momentary when it comes to, let's say, for example, you set a goal to do the dishes every day. You want to do the dishes, make sure they're not dirty, and you clean them. Okay. You set that goal, and for that day, you clean the dishes, you do them, you put them in the dishwasher, and then a few days go by, and because of your habits and your laziness, and you forgot, and life got in the way, you forgot to do them again, and they stack up, and now you're back with another pile of dirty dishes, and you're hoping for a burst of motivation to go and tackle it again.
Mm-hmm. And it's stinky and,
Right.
you know,
rather than
not
a
a good feeling.
rather than a person who has perfected a system, a routine, to make sure that they solve the problem in their structure, instead of just doing it one time, hoping for bursts of motivation to come swoop in and save them again. They have a structure in place to make sure they achieve that goal every day. And so they find the problems in the system, fix it, instead of just focusing on the goal, cleaning the dishes. How about you get home, the first thing you do is you change and you tackle the dishes right away. And as a reward, you give yourself a reward, you can now make yourself dinner. Like, use little things to help you build a good system
Mm-hmm.
so that you're used to it, and then the habit forms. So that is another misconception about goal
Mm-hmm.
setting.
100%. So another misconception of goal setting, topic of the day, story of the day, um, is once you reach a goal, you can become stagnant. So making the goal like the ultimate gold medal, the ultimate thing to chase after. And sometimes when that's the end goal, it can become the only thing that you're focused on, the thing that you obsess over, and it can deter your mind from real growth and real change. So once you reach that goal, you can just get into this stagnant process to where you just fall back into bad habits because you already achieved what you set out to achieve. And it just puts you back into turmoil. You just start going back to old habits, old routines, and it didn't really create true change. So if you have that structure in place, then you really you really create true change. You have a process now in place, you know what works, and it'll be there after you achieve your goal and not just during while you achieve your goal. It stays permanent, and it may not stay permanent, but you know what works. You know the process that changed for you. So,
Yeah, and I just want to add to that. It's like having an athlete that sets a goal, like an athlete's goal in any sport, that wants the goal is to win the game. They want to win the game, get their score up, and basically, if you focus on practice and you practice without focusing on just winning a game, would you still get good results if you just focus on your practice and good habits to like be better at what you do? And the answer is, I think yes. You don't even need the goal of winning a game to achieve it,
that's a
because
fair judgment. Yes.
practice is how you get to that result. The
Mm-hmm.
practicing every day, putting hard work in, that's how you get to your result. And as I said, the result is the goal. The goal is the result. So, but that's not to say forget about all your goals and just focus yourself on systems. Goals are great for direction.
Mm-hmm.
Systems and structure is great for progress and how to in getting to the next step to achieve that result.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, beautifully said. Beautifully said.
thank you, sir. You're beautiful.
You're even more beautiful.
Stop it.
But yeah, it's that devotion you have to the process that will ultimately reflect in your progress. So that is another misconception of goal setting. And yeah, we could talk about motivation as well.
Let's do that.
Motivation of goal setting, because we don't just want to talk about all the negatives of goal setting. Like having motivation as well into it can be a very essential thing. So when I think of motivation, I think of kind of two aspects:
Okay.
internal motivation and then external motivation. And internal motivation is more along the lines of like inner thoughts and feelings that you have for yourself. So it's like freedom of being able to do certain things in your life, freedom of your time, freedom with your money, and then like joy along with that, enjoying certain aspects of your life, enjoying whatever it may be in your life, and like discipline. So it's internal things that are particularly to you. It pertains to you. And then external motivation is more along the lines of things that are retrieved by you, that you receive. So like bonuses, praise from other people, like time off, or just like you said before, with using food as a reward.
Yeah.
So, you do the dishes and then you reward yourself with a nice home cooked meal or a nice kid cuisine or some nice Star Wars mac and cheese.
Right.
Whatever your type of food is,
Or
can be the reward.
something that just gives you satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like delaying gratification. You're doing something that you want to make you want to make a habit, doing the dishes a habit, and you do the difficult thing of doing that. It sucks,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's how
Doing
you
the
can
dishes?
yeah, like it sucks sometimes, like it's boring, like,
Yeah, I feel like it can bring a lot of peace of mind as well.
well,
You can use it as an asset.
that's true
It's
too.
the only time of your day that you can turn on some jams and just clean some plates and clean some dirty
I
food,
mean,
clean that old mac and cheese.
if you really want to get into it, then you're you're fucking right. You can do a lot of things with that mindfulness that you're speaking right now.
Mm-hmm. And if you're grateful of cleaning the dishes, you can start to enjoy that process as well.
Jesus, you're hitting. That's a lot. That's a lot. Let's be real though, but
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I like what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the present moment and doing and actually focusing all your attention on one activity can bring you that mindfulness, that peace of mind. And you're just you're just focused on nothing that you don't have like random thoughts. You're not just focusing on negatives of what you're doing or how like it's affecting you negatively. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
bored. But if you're in the present moment, you're focusing on the most simple task. That is a form of practicing mindfulness, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
I like the way you put that because that's a deep way. I mean, like, personally, when I do the dishes sometimes, I don't think about that. I'm singing a song in my head. I'm not really in the moment of the dishes. I'm
You're
not
thinking of the podcast.
thinking of the podcast 24/7, my brother. And let me tell you something.
Doubt it.
Sometimes those dishes, you can doubt it, but it's true. Sometimes those dishes are stanky. And when I
Mm.
mean stanky, mac and cheese, don't let it go too long. Okay, I've had that mistake. That's embarrassing to admit, but I'm going to say it, okay? Because
How long you think it was there?
probably 3 days.
3 days?
Maybe 2. I'm just being hard on myself right now. But
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother section.
Yeah, we can talk about dishes another day. We could make a whole episode on doing the dishes.
Fuck.
I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that.
Yeah. But it's a grateful thought that you
Yeah.
had.
Yeah. But yeah, so going back on motivation, if you get clear about those motivations, if it comes to your mind of what you're really doing it for, and that is like the most attractive thing to you, then you can be clear on that. You can be clear on why you're doing it as well, and it can spark that motivation in you. It can spark that flow process in certain situations, because motivation can come and go. Like we all know, you get that late night motivation, and it can die in the morning, and then what do you have? You can go back on that process
Right.
and that routine that you have. So getting clear on your motivations and why you want to go to your certain goals, why you want to set up those systems in place, can help your goal thinking process, can overall help the whole humbo jumbo. So,
If you're not achieving the goals that you set, you need to reflect and review your systems and your structure in place to achieve said goal. That is basically what we're preaching here, because it's true. The reason you're not achieving your goal is because there's a problem, there's an issue, the system's backed up with some type of fucking mechanical gear thing that's just stuck, and you got to go in and you got to tweak it. You got to fix it. And
one wrench may not work. You got to go to the different wrench. You got to try out a
that
different
that monkey
wrench,
wrench, that
the
monkey
ultimate
wrench.
monkey wrench that works, because there will be that one that works for you. There will be some way that you can put it into your life.
Tweak it,
Mm-hmm.
fix it,
Tweak it.
look at the system. Don't worry about the goal. Look at the systems to achieve the goal. That's basically the message today. So when we look at successful people and we see their successfulness, and we see Elon Musk setting goals to make his own space company, make this, do that, get to Mars. Like, those goals don't define him. Those aren't the defining moments. It's what he does every day in the systems to get the results that he gets. So if we start looking at goal setting in that aspect, a lot of people will be more successful at goals they want to set. You got to tweak it down to the systems that you do the systems you have in place to get there. Um, we had some technical difficulties right there, folks, but we're back. So I'm going to pass it off to Jared.
All right. So the topic of the day, topic on everybody's mind, back to misconception of goals. And a real important thing when you're taking the time to jot down your goals is to take time for it. Set aside a chunk of time. Don't overthink it. Be in a peaceful place. That'll always help you. And just jot down your goals and just be still with your mind. Don't have a lot of distractions around. Find what you really want to pursue and take your time with it. It's a big thing. Your goals and what you really want to achieve with your life is a big thing. So treat it as such. Treat it as a big deal to you. Put a lot of emphasis and passion into it, and it'll be clear to you after you do that. Once you spend the significant amount of time with it, it'll be clear to you, and you'll know where you're going. And yeah, that's that.
Well said, Jared. Very well said. Um, that's a great view and a great take on goal setting.
Mm-hmm.
So now I think it's time for us to bring it. Let's bring up the YouTube question of last video on the YouTube channel. As I want to remind everybody that, please, we're on Spotify and YouTube. So if you want to go to the YouTube channel, and for an episode that's on that channel, you click it and you leave a comment with a question. We're going to read your username off and we'll answer the question. If it is it has to do with mindfulness, and it's not just a silly little sick joke. But if it's a serious question about mindfulness or something you want to teach us, we're going to read it and we're going to talk about it. So,
or if it is a sick joke as well, it better be, really thought provoking and just complex.
I like
Make us
that.
think a little bit as well.
I
Because
agree.
if it's going to be something sick, then use all your brain power with it.
I agree with that. I agree with that statement 100%.
Verbally, don't do it.
True.
But if you are, then that's the way to go.
You're damn right.
All right. You want
Oh,
to?
me? I'll
Do you
pull.
want,
Want me pull it up? You want me to do that?
no, I can ask
I
you
got
that
it.
if
I
you
got
want.
it. I'll do it. Sorry, just a little late on that one. Um, bear with me, folks. All right, we're
Jamie, pull it up.
Jamie.
Pull it up on the screen.
We're pulling it up. We're pulling that up
We
right
need to
now.
get it, Jamie.
It's in due time, my
We'll just
brother.
have a honorary person just sitting in the corner. You think that's how it is for the show? He's just like sitting in the corner,
He's
and
in a
they
control center.
in the control center,
He's
like
in
a
the
little booth.
like Star Trek, the captain's quarters, and he's watching everything with all his monitors. I found the question.
It's
Are you ready?
badass. Yeah.
The question that was left on the last YouTube video we uploaded is by username longpoopy7134.
Oh, I wonder if he actually does take long poopies.
If I had to bet, I would say yes.
Yeah. Well, if you are listening to this episode, long poopy, put in the comments if you actually do, because I'm actually curious.
We're both
What's
curious.
the longest one ever?
I'm curious as well. Long Poopy asks, sorry guys, how do we shape our self-betterment journey around our present/future moral dilemmas? As an example, a person having to do something that goes against their moral code, but is for the betterment of humanity. How would they recover or learn to achieve that higher state of mindfulness given the sacrifice?
So, if you're going to a self betterment journey of your future or moral dilemmas, you're going to want to break it down first to your ego. So it's your ego that is holding you back from these dilemmas. It's all self-made into what you've brought into your person, what you've brought into how you identify as yourself and how you identify the world. So if it's a situation where it's a moral dilemma, but it's for the betterment, then if it's truly for the betterment, then it's something with yourself that's restricting you. So you have to break that down first, see why you think that certain way, and then go about better doing what you need to do. So you need to sacrifice a certain part of yourself for the betterment, because it comes down to you at the end of the day. And if you have these things restricting you from being better, then it's something you need to work on. You need to put your whole attention to, your focus, and you need to be persistent about it, because if it's something that goes against your moral dilemmas, it's something that's very close to you and that just is innate to you, something that you've brought into your life that's important. So it's going to take time, and it could really like affect you. It could affect your moral state, and so you have to be persistent about it, work towards it, and yeah, just know it's in yourself, and your ego could be restricting you from bettering yourself. And how you go about that too is you could just ponder and contemplate certain questions on why you are being restricted to going into your future and solving these dilemmas, and yeah, spending the time with yourself, finding a peaceful place to ponder these questions, not being distracted constantly, having a lot of things on your mind. Solving those first would help, but then setting that time aside to be by yourself, being away from the distractions, and really thinking of the core thought-provoking questions that you'll need to do to move on. So that's my thoughts on that. If you want to add anything, go for it.
No, I don't have to. I think you answered that perfectly, and I was going to answer it the same exact way. So,
The same exact way.
not the same exact way, but you know what I mean, Jared. Come on. All right, so I think how you feeling?
Yeah. That wraps it up today, folks. Thank you for tuning into the Wanna Be Mindful podcast, and have yourself a great day.
Stay mindful.
Stay mindful out there.